The Maasai Mara, a land of sweeping plains, a place of incredible wildlife. Here lions are the true rulers. Among them, one group became legends. They were known as the Notch Coalition. These were not just any lions, they were a band of kings, 5 strong males who dominated this land. Their story is etched into Mara's history, a tale of power, family, and survival. Their fame spread far beyond Kenya's borders. Wildlife enthusiasts and photographers traveled miles, hoping for a glimpse. The Notch lions were more than just predators, they were symbols of the wild spirit of Africa. Their reign was long and impactful. They held vast territories for many years. A remarkable feat in the competitive world of lions. What made this coalition special? It was their unique bond. This was not a typical group of unrelated male lions. No, this was a family affair. A father, the original Notch, and his 4 powerful sons. This unity was rare. And it was the key to their long success because they were truly unforgettable kings of the Maasai Mara. The story of this dynasty begins with one lion, a male who would become a legend. His name was Notch. He earned this name due to a distinctive V-shaped cut, right there on his nose. This mark made him instantly recognizable. Notch was a survivor. He walked the plains with a quiet confidence, a true Maasai Mara original. In his early days, Notch was a solitary figure. He roamed his territory alone. This is a tough life for a male lion. Constant vigilance is needed. He had to hunt for himself, he had to defend his patch from rivals, but Notch was strong, he was clever, he managed to hold his ground, and during this time, he fathered many cubs, passing on his resilient genes. Then, something remarkable happened. 4 of his male offspring grew into strong young adults. These were Notch II, Ron, Caesar, and Grimace. Usually, young male lions leave their birth pride, but these sons did not leave. Instead, they joined forces with Notch Sr., forming a powerful family unit. This coalition of 5 was a game-changer, a father and his 4 grown sons. The Notch dynasty was born. The newly formed Notch coalition was full of ambition. They were 5 strong. They sought the best territories in the Maasai Mara. The Marsh Pride's domain was prime real estate. It was a rich land, full of grazing animals, their prey, and a permanent water source from the Bila Shaka Luga. This area was highly coveted, many lions desired it, but the Notch lions were determined. They moved in and challenged the existing males. Those males were the rulers of the Marsh Pride then. Such takeovers are always violent, full of sound and fury, roars that echo across the plains, fights that can lead to serious injury or even death. But the Notch coalition had numbers and coordination, 5 against 2 or 3. The outcome was almost certain, they were victorious. The Marsh Pride territory was now theirs. A significant conquest. Their hunger for dominance was not satisfied though. Soon after securing the marsh area, they cast their eyes further, towards another prized territory. This was the home of the Paradise Pride. The Notch lions moved with confidence. They repeated their successful strategy. The kings had truly arrived. The Notch coalition's ambition knew few bounds. Securing the Marsh and Paradise Prides was just the start. They continued to push outwards, expanding their sphere of influence. Their territory grew to an immense size. It was one of the largest ever recorded for a lion coalition in the Maasai Mara, stretching across many square kilometers of prime savanna. This was no small feat, it required constant effort. Managing such a vast kingdom was a full-time job. The 5 males had to patrol their borders relentlessly, marking their territory, roaring to announce their presence, to deter any intruders. Sometimes they would split into smaller groups. This allowed them to cover more ground efficiently. Their coordination was key to this management. With control over multiple prides, the Notch lions had unparalleled breeding opportunities. They sired a remarkable number of cubs, little lions carrying their formidable genes. Their offspring could be seen across their territory. The Notch bloodline was spreading far and wide. This prolific breeding was a crucial part of their reign. Their dynasty was not just growing in terms of land, a powerful lineage was being forged. The Notch lions were an impressive sight. Notch Sr., the patriarch, was instantly recognizable. That famous V-shaped scar on his nose told a story of survival. His sons were equally imposing figures. Notch II, Ron, Caesar, and Grimace. Each one was large, powerful, and carried himself with an air of authority. They moved with a confidence that came from being undisputed rulers. Their physical presence alone was often enough to intimidate rivals. They were not just about brawn, they possessed considerable brain too. Their cooperative strategies were highly effective. They hunted together, tackling large and dangerous prey, animals like adult zebra, and even buffalo. This teamwork also extended to their territorial defense. They patrolled and fought as a cohesive unit, making them incredibly hard to challenge. Protecting their prides and cubs was paramount. They were vigilant guardians, keeping their offspring safe from nomadic males and other predators like hyenas. Their rule was marked by a blend of strength and strategy. This intelligence, combined with their power and unity, was the secret to their long and successful reign. They were truly masters of their domain. To be the king of the beasts means a life of constant vigilance. Power is never absolute or permanent in the wild. The Notch coalition, despite their strength, faced numerous challenges. Other male lions, younger and ambitious, were always lurking, waiting for any sign of weakness. The Notch lions had to defend their vast territory and their prides repeatedly. Their reign was punctuated by fierce battles. One of the most well-documented series of confrontations involved a group of younger males. Some observers called them the Marsh Males or the Four Musketeers. These were strong lions in their prime. They rose from within the marsh pride area, possibly even sons of other prides. They were determined to carve out their own territory, and the Notch coalition's land was the prize they sought. The clashes were intense, each side knew what was at stake. These battles were not for the faint-hearted, they were brutal, raw displays of power. Lions fight with deadly intent, using their teeth and claws. The Notch lions, even as they aged, fought with incredible courage. They defended their legacy with every ounce of their strength. Their roars of defiance echoed across the plains. The price of maintaining their throne was very high indeed. The Marsh Pride held a special place in the story of the Notch coalition. It was one of the first major prides they conquered, and their association with it lasted for many, many years. This long tenure was quite remarkable. The Shaka riverbed, the heart of the Marsh Pride's territory, became synonymous with the Notch lions. They were a constant presence there, patrolling the plains, resting under the acacia trees. Their roars were a familiar sound to the pride's lionesses. For the lionesses of the Marsh Pride, the reign of the Notch coalition brought a period of relative stability. In the lion world, takeovers by new males are disruptive. With the Notch lions firmly in control for so long, there were fewer such upheavals. This stability generally leads to better cub survival rates. The lionesses could raise their young with a greater sense of security. The influence of Notch and his sons on the Marsh Pride was immense and long-lasting, a testament to their power and their prolific nature. The relentless march of time spares no creature, not even the mighty kings of the Maasai Mara. Notch Sr., the founder of the dynasty, inevitably grew old. His strength began to wane. The distinctive notch on his nose seemed more pronounced on his aging face. He became slower, less able to keep up with the rigors of patrol and combat. His fighting days were clearly nearing their end. The old warrior was tired. His sons too began to show the wear and tear of their long and arduous reign. Years of battles had taken their toll. Grimace, one of the sons, was known to have a severe limp, a lasting reminder of a past fight. Caesar also carried injuries. Each confrontation, each skirmish, left its mark. These injuries hampered their movement, their hunting ability, and their capacity to fight off new challengers. The coalition was still strong, but cracks were appearing. Slowly, but surely, their formidable number began to dwindle. The end of their extraordinary reign was drawing closer. The Notch coalition carved an indelible mark on the Maasai Mara. Their reign was a defining chapter in the history of its lion population. They demonstrated the incredible power of a family-based coalition, achieving dominance for an exceptionally long period. Their story became a benchmark, inspiring awe for these magnificent animals. Naturally, with such legendary figures, some myths arose. People often spoke of their colossal size. Were they truly giants among lions? While large and imposing, they were not unnaturally huge. Their fearsome reputation stemmed from their collective strength and ferocity in battle. This made them appear almost invincible. Their unity was their greatest advantage over coalitions of unrelated males. Their cooperation was remarkable. Notch, the original patriarch with the scarred nose, and his 4 sons, Notch II, Ron, Caesar, and Grimace. Their legacy continues to inspire respect for these incredible animals and the wild places they inhabit. The story of the Notch brothers begins with their father, a remarkable lion known as Notch. He was easily recognized by a distinctive V-shaped cut on his nose. In his prime, Notch was a formidable presence in the Maasai Mara. He was a seasoned warrior who understood the harsh realities of life. Notch had already established himself as a dominant figure. He sired cubs with various lionesses, contributing strong genes to the Mara. The birth of his 4 sons set the stage for something unprecedented. These sons were Notch II, Ron, Caesar, and Grimace. Each one was a robust cub, destined for greatness. The bond between them started early, proving to be the bedrock of their future power. Notch's decision to remain with his sons as they matured was unique. Typically, father lions leave to avoid conflict, but Notch stayed. In the competitive world of African lions, male coalitions are essential for survival and dominance. Most coalitions usually consist of 2 or 3 males, often brothers or related individuals. The Notch coalition, however, with its 5 members, Notch Sr. and his 4 sons, was different. Their numerical superiority set them apart from rivals. A 5-strong male lion coalition cannot be overstated. They possess nearly double the strength of average coalitions. This advantage translated into increased fighting power, greater ability to defend territory, and higher success in hunting larger prey. Their unity was their greatest weapon, a formidable shield against threats. Few would dare to challenge such a group. Territorial takeovers were often skewed in their favor. The primary battle strategy of the Notch coalition was elegantly simple, yet devastatingly effective. Overwhelming intimidation through superior numbers. They understood, perhaps instinctively, that the visual impact of 5 large, battle-scarred male lions advancing together was a powerful psychological weapon. Before any physical confrontation even began, their opponents were often already at a disadvantage, their confidence eroded by the sheer scale of the challenge they faced. This tactic saved them from many unnecessary fights, conserving their energy for when it was truly needed, such as during major territorial takeovers, or when defending their hard-won prides. When confrontations did occur, the Notch brothers and their father approached them with a united front. They would move in a coordinated manner, often fanning out slightly to appear even larger and more menacing. Their deep, resonant roars, amplified 5-fold, would echo across the plains, serving as a declaration of their presence and their intent. This auditory assault, combined with their formidable physical appearance, was usually enough to make smaller coalitions think twice. One of the most striking features of the Notch coalition was their constant togetherness. Unlike some male lion groups that might temporarily split up for various reasons, Notch and his sons were almost invariably seen as a single cohesive unit. They moved together, hunted together, rested together, and most importantly, fought together. This unwavering unity was a cornerstone of their success and longevity. It provided them with a continuous shield of mutual protection and support, making them an almost unassailable force in the often treacherous landscape of the African bush. This constant togetherness was a powerful deterrent against ambushes. Rival coalitions or even large clans of hyenas, which might opportunistically attack a lone male or a smaller group, would not dare to confront 5 fully grown male lions acting in concert. The risk of severe injury or death was simply too high for any would-be attackers. By remaining a tight-knit group, the Notch coalition effectively neutralized one of the greatest threats to male lions' surprise attacks by numerically superior or desperate enemies. The Notch coalition's formidable power, derived from their numbers and unity, enabled them to achieve something truly remarkable: the control of multiple vast territories simultaneously. In the Maasai Mara, where territorial boundaries are constantly contested and defended, holding sway over such an extensive domain was an unprecedented feat. Most lion coalitions struggled to maintain control over a single prime territory. However, Notch and his sons were not most coalitions. Their ability to dominate such a large area meant they had access to an abundance of prey and numerous prides of lionesses, further cementing their legacy. One of their most famous and significant conquests was the takeover of the renowned Marsh Pride. The Marsh Pride was one of the most documented lion groups in the Mara, and their territory was prime real estate, rich in game and strategically located. The arrival of the Notch coalition sent shockwaves through this established pride. The existing males were no match for the 5 titans, and the takeover, though likely brutal as all such events are, was swift and decisive. This conquest not only expanded their territory, but also significantly increased their breeding opportunities, allowing them to sire many cubs and spread their dominant genes. The reputation of the Notch coalition was legendary, and it was built on a foundation of fear. Throughout the Maasai Mara, their name, or rather their collective presence, became synonymous with overwhelming power and an unyielding grip on their territories. Stories of their conquests, their sheer size, and their coordinated attacks spread like wildfire among guides, researchers, and local communities. This was not just respect, it was a deep-seated awe mixed with a healthy dose of trepidation. When the Notch males were on the move, everyone and everything paid attention, understanding the potential danger they represented. Their presence had a profound effect on the movement and behavior of other animals far beyond just rival lions. Herds of wildebeest, zebra, and buffalo would become noticeably more alert and skittish in areas known to be frequented by the Notch coalition. These herbivores seemed to possess an innate understanding of the heightened danger posed by such a large and effective group of predators. Grazing patterns might shift, and traditional watering holes could be temporarily abandoned if the 5 males were sensed nearby. One of the most exceptional aspects of the Notch coalition was the profound loyalty its members displayed towards one another. In the brutal theater of lion politics, where coalitions can fracture due to internal power struggles or competition for mating rights, the bond between Notch and his sons and subsequently among the brothers themselves was remarkably steadfast. There were no recorded instances of serious internal conflict aimed at usurping dominance within the group. This unwavering unity was a rare jewel, a testament to the strength of their familial ties and a key factor in their sustained reign. This extraordinary loyalty was undoubtedly rooted in their close genetic bond. Notch was the father, and the other 4 were full brothers. This shared bloodline created a level of cohesion that is less common in coalitions formed by unrelated or distantly related males. The instinct to protect and support kin is a powerful force in the animal kingdom, and it was visibly at play within this group. They functioned as a true family unit, where the well-being of the group superseded individual ambition. This genetic connection provided a natural foundation for trust and mutual dependence, which they built upon through shared experiences. The remarkable success and extended reign of the Notch coalition did not go unnoticed in the grand theater of the African wilderness. Their story has had a lasting impact. While direct proof of lions consciously learning and emulating specific complex social strategies from other groups is difficult to establish definitively, their unparalleled dominance likely influenced the observable dynamics of lion society in the Maasai Mara. Researchers and long-term observers noted that the sheer effectiveness of such a large, stable coalition might have subtly shifted the evolutionary pressures, favoring the formation of larger and more cohesive male groups in subsequent generations, if conditions allowed. It is plausible that the success of the Notch males demonstrated the immense benefits of maintaining larger coalition sizes for longer periods. Young males dispersing from their natal prides, witnessing or sensing the overwhelming power of such a unit, might have been more inclined to stick with their brothers or other close relatives if the opportunity arose. The ecological memory of such a dominant force could, in theory, contribute to behavioral trends. The Notch coalition became a living example of might is right, and their strategy of strength in numbers was a lesson written in claw and tooth across the plains. Beyond behavioral influences, their genetic legacy was undeniable and widespread. Years after the reign of Notch and his formidable sons eventually came to its natural end, as all reigns must, their legend endures with remarkable potency. They are still spoken about with a mixture of awe and reverence by those who witnessed their dominance firsthand. The guides, the researchers, the conservationists who spent years tracking their movements and documenting their lives. Even for those who only know them through stories, photographs, and films, the Notch Coalition commands a lasting respect. They represent a pinnacle of lion power and a golden era in the Maasai Mara's rich wildlife tapestry. This enduring respect stems from their unparalleled achievements. Controlling such vast territories, holding multiple prides, and maintaining unity for so long were feats that few, if any, lion coalitions have replicated to the same extent. They were not just successful, they were extraordinary. Their story is a compelling narrative of family, power, strategy, and survival against the odds. The name Notch itself has become iconic, instantly evoking images of massive, battle-scarred lions ruling their domain with an iron paw. This respect is a tribute to their indomitable spirit and their profound impact on the ecosystem.